Hey there, I'm Curly, and welcome to Unfiltered and Undiscovered, the podcast where three music lifers dig into the songs, the stories, and the legends of music that may not have crossed your radar yet. But if you're new here, let me set the scene. I'm the punter, the guy who swears that the best music, the best Australian independent music, was in 1986. I've got the record collection to prove it. Now, joining me each week, I've got Braggy. He's a lifelong muso, a dreamer that's still waiting for that one song of his to go viral. He knows his stuff and he loves digging into lyrics. And of course, we've got Rossi, the roadie, the manager, and the guy with the story about every band that's ever plugged into a pub PA system anywhere from Perth to Parramatta. Together, we get unfiltered with the best undiscovered artists across Australia and occasionally the world. And occasionally, we also talk a whole lot of rubbish around artists that we already love. Let's get into it.
Hey y'all, I'm Alison Asarch from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hey, I'm Sean Fraser from the Ritzy Kids Hunters.
This is Johnny from Rail Motor.
Hey, it's Shane from Blind Season.
Hey, it's Rob Stanier, and you can check out my music on all the streaming platforms.
Check out my latest music on all the streaming sites.
Check out my debut album on all streaming platforms.
Check out our new debut album.
Check us out on Spotify and Apple Music. And you're listening to our friends, Braggy and Curly.
My favorite bands from Australia.
You're listening to our friends, Braggy, Rossi, and Curly
on the Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast.
You right?
I'm ready. Let's go. Braggy and Curly. Let's go,
baby. Hey there, everyone. It's Curly here from Unfiltered and Undiscovered, and welcome to episode 229. We are three old blokes with one obsession, and that's music that matters. Unfiltered chats with undiscovered artists. Every week on the pod, it's guitars, grit, and the good stuff that you're not going to hear on mainstream radio. This is Unfiltered and Undiscovered. And wherever you're watching or listening, hit that like and subscribe button and share it with someone who needs some new music in their life. I've got Big Stu with me on my left, and I've got, of course, Braggy from Adelaide. But our very special guest is coming to us from Las Vegas today. From Montana blue skies to lighten up the Vegas Strip to producing music in Nashville. This bloke's opened for Luke Bryan, Dwight Yoakam, Hank Williams Jr. My God, it's so exciting to speak with Sam Riddle today.
Yes, sir.
How are you, Sam?
I'm doing great, man. You got my name right, hanging out. I didn't know that was Big Stu. What's up, Big Stu?
Hey, hang on.
Yeah. Man, it's so good to be with you guys today.
Great to have you, Sam.
Yeah.
I must say, although Curly, I'm a little dusty this morning because the footy season kicked off here last night, Sam. It's Australian rules football.
Oh,
That's my team there. And so it was a bit of a big night. So I think there was a couple of drinks with my name on it, actually.
Hey. I like it.
But I'm okay. I got the coffee, so I'm all right this morning. Sam, it seems like you've been on an incredible journey so far. Can you just fill us in, like, how it all started? I think I've read you got a musical family, so.
Yeah, music was in my family. On my dad's side, they were very musical. My uncle kind of spearheaded that whole thing with them, and was very successful, and ended up moving to New York City, where he became a very successful producer and composer, and in the world of Broadway and just music and the arts and everything. And right after my dad was on the road, playing rock and roll for most of his life, and then when I was born in Montana, they decided to go team up with his older brother in New York, and my uncle had, just amazing relationships out there and hookups. So he got my mom a job with Neil Simon on Broadway, working for him. And my dad was doing his thing. And so it was really cool to grow up around what was normal to me. I realized very quickly it was not normal to everybody else. And, I missed a lot of school, going to a lot of really cool events and, late nights. This is back before they were so stingy, and I was the kid in the bar, or the kid in the you know, I was always the only kid around, but like they took me everywhere, and I was able to go to all these amazing things and be exposed to like the greatest talent in the world, you know, at a very young age. And you know, so that's being exposed to all that was amazing. But you know, it ended up being that I was kind of trying to find my own thing, you know, because I knew that was kind of like my dad's thing. And I had a real kind of natural ability in sports. So that kind of sports made me get less bullied than being on TV. You know, so like, you know, my whole childhood, I was in, you know, commercials and doing acting and doing all this, you know, modeling and all this stuff, you know. But it wasn't when I picked up a basketball, I started, you know, getting a lot of like love in New York City. So, but by the time that was really getting going, middle school, my parents moved us back to Montana, and it was there that you know, I just kind of started becoming the person that I am. And you know, music was just something that I had to escape with. You know, I always was able to play the piano, so like I would, you know, very late at night I'd be playing the piano and stuff like that, and music was just always a part of me. And but basketball became my life. I mean, you guys really want to hear all this? I mean,
absolutely. We're loving it. We're loving it. We're loving it.
All right. Yeah, well, I'm trying to give you the bullet points, you know. Yeah, so I like, you know, basketball kind of took over my life. You know, I got recruited all over the country for basketball when I was in high school, and ended up playing D1. And then as I was pursuing a professional basketball career, this guy saw me play the piano on a random night in the middle of nowhere, and kind of through him, I ended up in Vegas. And I came down to Vegas just like, you know, who knows? You know, I got a couple weeks off. I can go down to Vegas and act like I'm, you know, Ocean's 11, you know, whatever. And
yeah.
And next thing I knew, it was like 5 days later, I got hired. I went in for a little audition, and all these old guys were playing all this cheesy stuff, you know, and I went up there and just started beating on the piano, and they said, "This is what we want. You're hired." I was like, "What?" So next thing I know, I'm playing the piano in Vegas. I couldn't believe that they were paying me money to play the piano. I thought that was crazy, you know. And it wasn't basketball money, but it was still good, you know. And you know, so I did that. Next thing I knew, I'm playing 7 nights a week. I played 7 nights a week for 4 years straight. I had every gig, like anywhere that there was a grand piano and a chandelier and a dress code. I was in there playing piano and singing Sinatra songs and you know, Ray Charles and all kinds of stuff. I was like really the only dude that was under like 70 years old that could play like stride piano, you know? So I kind of just made a young, cool thing. And anyways, a couple years go by, I'm like, I guess I'm doing music now. And, but I kind of saw that like, man, I didn't want to do that the rest of my life, you know?
Yeah.
You're really kind of you're in the background, you know, it's like, and I just felt like a kid at camp, like my parents were going to come pick me up from camp any day. I thought the whole thing was just crazy. I didn't think it was going to last, you know.
So how old are you when you're doing this, Sam?
I was 25 when I moved to Vegas.
Wow.
So right in the middle of chasing the basketball thing, you know. It was like right after my rookie year, and I was on my way to Europe to play the next season, and that's when that all happened. So I mean, I started doing that, and then I just kind of started being like, you know, I felt like a change going on in Las Vegas, where it was like going from that old classy thing to becoming kind of like a big cruise ship, you know. And it went from like suits and ties to like, you know, flip flops and coolers, you know. It was like
yeah.
Okay. And, so I kind of was just like, you know, if I'm gonna do music, I have to figure out who I am. Like, I gotta do something that is something. I gotta do something. So I took a little time, and it just, one day it just hit me, and I was like, never thought about it before in my life, but I was like, I'm gonna represent where I'm from. I'm gonna wear a cowboy hat like my dad. I'm gonna put on these jeans that my mom's been trying to get me in my whole life, and it's just like I threw it on, and I was just like, I knew I could write. I knew I had a knack, and I had a vision of what I would do with country music that I knew wasn't going on.
Yeah.
And
yes. So it's like playing the piano. You don't see a lot of country guys that play piano.
Right. And that was really too.
Is that hard to get your thing across playing piano?
No, see, one of the things about country music is I saw like how diverse the genre could be. At the time, nobody was like, throwing hip hop and blues and all these things. All of my influences, I knew if I put it together and I did it and I was truly authentic, it would be country, and I knew nobody was banging on the piano like me.
Yeah.
So I was like, that'll help me stick out. That'll be like something I can, fill a hole, and right when I decided to do it, I knew Vegas so well, and there was no country scene here at all.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm going to put on a show. So Vegas is perfect for me as like a place to be seen. And I didn't want to like move to Nashville and like sleep on a cot and get a real job. I ain't never had a real job in my life. I ain't trying to get one now, So like, I just like, I was like, I can make a living here. I can play in front of people from all over the world every single night. And it just, the vision I had worked. And right away, I just started headlining casinos throughout the week, like right away. There was like no in between. Like the first gig I had, I'm headlining a big showroom. And I was like, so that's when I knew like I was on to something.
Yeah.
And it kind of performing country music, being me, representing where I'm from, my show, I could use my athleticism. It's like everything I worked on my whole life came together in one thing. And I was able to just kind of take over it like I did with the piano. I was able to do that on a bigger scale. And I just started building the scene here. And I was playing like 4 or 5 huge showrooms a week. And I did that for years and years. And as once I knew I had something, that's Nashville starts calling, Nashville starts trying to get me. But I just, I never wanted to be put in a box. I never wanted to like kind of sell my soul, for lack of a better word, just for a record deal. And I wanted to figure out who I was, because I still didn't know. I mean, this whole thing's new. I didn't know who I was yet. I'm like some nights I'm doing an impression of like Kenny Chesney, because I'm trying to just find myself. So it took me a long time, and then here we are years later, and a record label in Nashville came after me, recognized that exactly who I was. I didn't really have to explain it to them, and every time people see me in person, they get it. And it took me all the way up till now to figure out how to translate the capability of showing the world who I am on stage. I've been trying to figure out how to record, like make that into a recording,
Yeah.
And because that was a really tough thing to do, and finding your voice and just the whole thing. So
yeah, because Vegas, I guess, is the big show town, and that's kind of really hard, isn't it, to get onto recording thing. But tell us about these guys that picked you up, Epifonic. So they've only got a couple of artists. Yeah, they're only new, sort of on the scene, are they?
Yeah. So what they are is they own the American Country Network. So the new country music television station that's taking over CMT, because CMT is like going under. So these guys are like the new up and coming thing, and they are they're music guys. And a very close friend of theirs saw me, knew the guy. Everybody here is like, doesn't understand why I'm still undiscovered and unknown, as you guys say. And so like he calls his buddy and says, "Man, you got to see this dude." So they end up starting their label with me being like the flagship artist. So
Wow.
like, and the deal that I got was, I mean, you can't get a better deal than that. So I knew the focus was going to be on, you know, they're not a major label, but they are in Nashville. They know everybody, and they also were like, man, they let me keep my ownership of everything, and they're just, I think it's a good vehicle for me to get to that next level.
So you've just like done the opposite. Everybody wants to go to Nashville, but you just let Nashville freaking come to you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought it was a genius idea. You know, I mean, it was like, you know, you know, the thing that I didn't see coming was the social media thing. You know, I don't come from that. Like, for me,
no, we don't either, Sam.
Yeah, I came from a world where you get great at something, then like, and that's what I focused on. I mean, I'd be playing in front of huge crowds, but I wasn't putting up the phone being like, 1, 2, 3, everybody say what's up. You know, I'm busy, you know.
So true.
I can, it's hard for me to take a selfie. You know what I mean? I can't, it's just like, I didn't see it coming. So I just really concentrated on honing in like my thing. And meanwhile, the dude that's out in the coffee shop outside of the showroom I'm in, he wants to be in there, but he's singing covers in his bedroom into his phone, and he's got like 1 million views. And I ain't got, you know, I'm thinking this is backwards, you know?
Yeah, it is.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I just kind of stuck to my guns and figured, you know, when it's ready, and you know, when it, God obviously has a plan here, and as anxious and frustrating as time has gone on, I've just kept going. It's never dropped. It's always just kind of kept going like this.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting for that to just bust through that one little thing, because I know once they stick me on the track, I'm secretariat, baby. I just got to get me on there. Let me run, baby.
Sam, with social media, what I find is that it's followers aren't invested on social media, right? So they may have a following of 1 million people, but it's bums on seats that really counts in, or the legs on the dance floor, I suppose, feet on the dance floor that counts. When I was going through your music, and man, I've got to say, a breath of fresh air in so many ways. And I'm going to use the word, there's a lot of sober reality in your music, right? And I know sober is probably a strange word to use when you're talking about songs with drink with your name on it and Barstool and what have you. But there's a lot of reality sitting there within the songs that you write. Is that part of what you aim for as well?
Definitely. I will say, you know, about a year ago, I took down like 99% of my stuff to put the focus on the stuff that was coming out.
Yeah.
The only things that are still up, other than Bad Picker and Drink with Your Name on It, are songs that other people put up that I wasn't able to take down yet.
Yeah, okay. I was going to ask about that. I saw there's like a gap there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a huge gap. I mean, dude, I had so much stuff up there, but I really appreciate you saying that, because that is one of the things why this genre and country music fits me so well, is because, you know, I like stories, songs, you know, like I didn't want to make ringtones and just something, you know, and beats, you know, I wanted to reach people and tell a story. And I have so much life experience. It's why I'm able to, in my live show, connect with each person, no matter where they're from, and they all feel seen. So I want, you know, all of my songs are like truly autobiographical, but at the same, especially this album that's coming out is the most autobiographical thing I've ever done. And it's very personal. This album that will be actually, you know, my first real release on a label, you know. So yes, I love it. It's real life. I do that on purpose. You know, I feel like the only way to do anything in life is to truly be yourself and say your thing. And I'm here for everybody else. I'm not here for me. I'm here to like use what I have to help people. And I know that I know people, and we all go through the same crap, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you're going to take down any more, please do not take down Pass Out on My Boat, because I reckon that is.
The work day's over. Gonna hug my wife and kids. Before the weather gets colder, I'm gonna get in it. Got a lot of good things going, not a man to complain. Gotta get out for a moment, I gotta take a break. Gonna pass out on my boat. Oh, this life we're living, there's so much we've been given, and I know where I'm going, to that old stand craft with a nice cold draft pouring smooth right down my throat. Gonna pass out on my boat.
That is a fucking classic, my friend.
No, I would love to do that song the original way that I wrote it. And you know, there is gonna come a day here in the next year or two where I'm gonna be putting out an early years album.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so I'm gonna put out all those songs again, and there's gonna be some ones that I want to do the way I wanted to truly do them. You know, everything along the way till now has been like experiments. You know, because I knew I didn't have a team, I was doing everything myself. I was really just like trying things. It's like, oh, we got this amount of money, and we can go to this dude's basement, and he can do this. You know, it's like I would figure out how to use the capabilities of certain engineers just to try new sounds and new things. And, you know, you go in there, you got a few hours, you do everything in a couple takes, and you get out of there, and I just like throw it up. So, but I really saw it just like I see Vegas. You know, I see Vegas as like a gym for me, a place to work things out, you know. And the studio's been a place where I've just experimented, knowing that it's only going to be streamed like 200 times, you know. Yeah. So it's like I wasn't. You know,
oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going. The crowd, like playing in Vegas, it must be because there's so much, I guess, entertainment and stuff there, all those bars. Are the crowds tough? Is it like if you really got to?
Well, at times, but there's no crowd I can't get. I mean, I'll tell you a good story. You know, NFR, National Finals Rodeo. That's every year it's in Vegas. You know.
Okay.
And this is like one of my first couple years, and I'm like huge, and I got wearing no sleeves, you know, like
yeah. When you said you played sport, I thought you would have been a football player by the rig on you.
Yeah, the rig on me, I like that. So like I came out, and you know, obviously like the place is packed, and all the girls, you know, start running to the thing, right? Yeah. And I look in the back of all the girls, and all the cowboys are back there, and you know, if they don't know me, most of their initial reactions are like, I hate this dude, right?
Yeah.
So like, I always need to show them that I'm one of them, you know?
Yeah.
So like, it was like 2 songs in, and I like look at the guys and I call out this little song that I knew they know that I'm going to jump out in the crowd. So I jump out, the girls are, but whatever, I'm trying to part the way, and I go back, and there's these big spool tables. You know the ones that look like spools?
Yeah.
They're like the big wooden ones. They're real high. And this is why I was saying I could use my basketball too, right? So I walk around, and they're all looking at me like, who is this dude? Like, probably thinking I'm a douche, you know? Yeah. So I just popped up, jumped straight up on one of those things and landed, grabbed this dude's PBR and just slammed it. Threw that shit down and gave him 5. And they were my best friends ever, you know? So like, you just have to do things like that, you know? I just knew how to go get them, you know? And within 3 songs, I got them, you know? So it is a great training ground. Like I said, it's a place to work all that out, find all that out. Yeah. And then when the day comes that you are released to the world with music that represents you, you know exactly what to do.
And so I guess when you like have an opening for all those famous guys, you must have got, I don't know if you get to speak to them or not, but you must have got some great advice from some of those.
Not really. I mean,
No?
most of them, unless they're a really established artist, I smoke them and they hate me, you know?
I love it.
Yeah, man. I can't open up for everybody. No, but I would say, you know, I've met some really amazing people along the way. And, you know, it's not like it really advice that I get, but I study everyone and the things that I have witnessed and taken in from everything. You know, it's just been, you know, those were definitely big blessings. You know, I got to, you know, one guy that I talk about it sometimes, Toby Keith, you know, rest his soul. And when I've been able to open it for him, you know, he's just a amazing thing. And, you know, I try to look at what is their magic trick, you know, what is it that they got, you know, and that's what I try to take, you know, for instance, like a Garth Brooks, you can see that his magic trick is his eyes, you know, what he does with his eyes. That's his little magic trick. You know, people don't catch on to these little things, you know, so I like try to figure those things out along the way. But I remember when I opened up for Luke Bryan the first time, they wouldn't let me bring my band. They wouldn't even let me perform nothing. They were like, the manager said, or whoever was in charge, it can only be him and the piano. And when he sits at the piano, he can't get up. And you can only do 25 minutes. Because they didn't want, this is early on when he was young, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't want me doing my thing. So this is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They give you a bad sound probably too, you know, that's the sort of shit.
Oh man, you always got that. Yeah. You always deal with that. But now I've been able to, like, you know, get good sound guys. I've had pretty good luck with sound and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you got to deal with that all, man. It's just fun. It's all fun.
Well, man, it sounds like you're on the verge of just breaking out. So we've only got like 26 million people in Australia, which is probably less than the whole.
So I've been to Australia. I've been to Australia twice. I got now since I know y'all from there. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a little something. So I've been there to do the BNS balls.
Oh wow! Jesus.
Yeah, man, I did the shoey and the whole thing, baby.
That's rougher than Vegas, brother.
Oh my gosh, no, man, they were trying to act. I was like, this feels like Montana. This ain't nothing for me. You know. Yeah. So I had a lot of fun doing those, man. You know, the guy, he still owes me money from the last one I did. So I'm not gonna shout him out now, but when I get back over there, I'm gonna find that dude.
Yeah, let us know. We'll send Big Stu to get him.
Yeah, Big Stu. I need you, buddy. You gotta go get that money for me.
Stewie's itching to ask a couple of questions too, Bragg.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
So Sam, a couple of things. Some of the feedback that people are giving you is things like, you know, it's not a party till Sam Riddle turns up and lightning in a bottle. How does that sort of stuff sit with you?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny because it's when they see it for themselves in person. You know, to me, it's funny because I've been doing this for so long. You know, yeah. I've been going. The fact that people are saying we're catching lightning in a bottle and new artists and all this kind of stuff, it's just funny. You know, it's like, you know, it really is that thing that, like, it took years and years for an overnight success. You know,
yeah.
So like.
Friday when the sun
But look, I appreciate it, and I know what that is like when people see me for the first time, and just gotta understand that this is the way it's supposed to go for me. I feel like my story has evolved even more so to be even more inspirational because of my perseverance and the discipline it took to not quit and stick with it and know that like this is what I'm supposed to do and not succumb to the things that can take you down. So I think that has become another thing about my story because of how long it's taken. And I think lightning in the bottle is a good way to look at it, but it's lightning that you could have caught a lot earlier. Damn.
A little bit.
Yeah, you've done the hard yards already. You've already had a career, and so now you're so well prepared.
Yeah,
you've had the biggest preseason.
Yeah,
that's a good way to put it. Long preseason.
So when you think about your competitive athletic career, has that been part of how you've been managed to stay in the grind? Has that given you 100%. That foundation?
100%. I mean, it wasn't even just with the shows. It started out. I treated each show every single night like a game. I prepared through the day like it was a game. People would say, "How do you have that much energy?" For 3 straight hours, and I'm like, "Well, this ain't nothing compared to the fourth quarter in the NCAA tournament. This ain't nothing." I mean, I could go all night long doing this. So, but the discipline, the internal muscle to get up every single day and keep going, to stay in shape, to even when times get tough, to as down as you can get, you still get up the next day. You go to the gym and you go to the show and you're on time. And if you're on time, you're late. You gotta be early. And it doesn't matter how I feel. I could be sick. I could be hurting. I could have a broken this. Whatever. You go out, and sports gave me everything in order for this to be a success and for this to have the length and the journey that it's been. Without that, I mean, this would have, I don't know, I wouldn't have been able to handle anything, any of it. Yeah.
So let's talk about Drink With Your Name on it. So it's been described as pure jukebox country with clanking bottles and small town memories. I'm guessing, is there a bar that you've written that song with a bar in your mind? Is there a small town bar?
Yes, there is. Well, there are several that I think about. I've walked into a ton of these, you know, and when I think about my hometown, obviously there's a couple that sticks out. The Mo Club or Stockman's Bar. There's this one bar that was way out that I think about, but it's really like any place that like people have ownership of, like the patrons think of it as theirs,
Yeah.
And they're everywhere, even in Vegas. Vegas is not, for me and people who live here, it's not the Strip at all.
Right.
Vegas is a very small town, and everywhere, all the little pockets, everybody's got their spot, And, so it's just really it's really even not about the bar. It can be anywhere. It's the song is about a time of your life, the people around. It's really about the characters that have shaped all the things, all the stories. And it could be the rugby game. It could be a certain part of the stands that you always go sit with the same people. It could be that. And that so and so's coming, and you got a beer waiting for him because you know what he drinks, and you guys are here to do something that you guys do. It's like going to church every Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's just like that's really what it's about.
Yeah, you had me with 40-inch screen with the game on it. That's
back in the day. When you had to turn the channel like this.
Yeah, that's the one. That's it.
So, Sam, how did your loyal fan base become known as River Rats?
Oh, well, I don't think they're not known as that anymore, but that was for about 6 months to maybe 6 to 9 months back in, a few years ago, I decided to kind of like, I've always kept it Sam Riddle.
Yeah.
But my band we've always been a band, I only keep it Sam Riddle so the train can't get off the tracks, So you can't, bands break up every day. I've kept it Sam Riddle so nobody can screw this up for me, but me, know. And so, but my band was just we were so busy. We were playing, I was playing 200-300 nights a year for years, and I just was kind of like, I know that I get all the accolades and the attention, but I was like, I'm gonna give them I had this like a bunch of live songs that I had put out, and one of them was called Ride, and it was it was kind of really about this town that we used to go play in this casino and like these biker gangs and stuff, and everybody thought it was called The River, but so I ended up just calling it Sam Riddle and The River. I started calling my band The River for a while.
Yeah.
And it was just something just kind of like but the band, it got to their head a little bit. They started acting a little too big time, so. No, I'm just kidding. But it was just for a little while. Like I called it The River, and then I just kind of gave the name to the crowd. I just called them the River Rats, So they just kind of took that and they kind of went with that. And but that was like a long time. That was just like a little phase, a little phase.
So your band, you've had I guess guys for a long time playing. So with the new song, do they play on that, or does these guys from they want the session guys on there?
No, they weren't the session guys. They could have been, but we're all so busy. It's like trying to get everybody in the same thing at the same time. And I got, this is like, I need to make things happen. I can't be like waiting on people to show up,
Yeah.
And, I'm also like, and, it's just kind of, I was trying to get this thing done a certain way. No one can mess with my band live. No one. Like it's amazing. I wouldn't trade these guys for the world. Some of these guys have been with me since the beginning, and it's just something that you can't replace.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, you can't do that. But in the studio, I was just like, I was very strategic about what I wanted this first album to be, and I had a very clear focus of it. So I worked with my engineer, and it's pretty much mostly me and him producing the whole thing. And but we used like certain really amazing musicians and high people with big names in Nashville, to also let the world know that Nashville is a part of me too. It's not like I'm an outsider, I'm also in Nashville, so
yeah.
I wanted to shout out, some of the players and the amazing, kind of culture that they have there with all the musicians and everything.
That's an incredible place.
So I got some amazing musicians on the album, and but yeah, I mean, I really, there's certain things, man. I'm like, man, if my boy Matt, my lead guitar player, it's like, man, I wish I could have had him do a solo here, because it's just like he's one of those guys that goes to another world,
Yeah.
And,
but I guess when you go on tour though, when it blows up and you're down here, down under, those guys.
Yeah, we're playing them already, like live at a lot of things that we do, and that's the cool thing about me and my band too. It gets heightened, and every single night it will never be the same. I let guys go off, and I let things build, and I feel out where the spirit is in the room during this song, and we might take it somewhere else. And these are all just great songs with an energy and a vibe and a message that they speak for themselves, and then you can lift the room, to that place that's just magic.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Absolutely. So you mentioned the album, Sam. What can we expect? So Drink With Your Name on It came out in February this year. So what's next for you, and what's the plan?
Yeah, so we're putting out a single every about 4 to 6 weeks up until the album release, which is right now. You guys will be the first to know, but it's scheduled to come out on July 3rd.
Okay.
And again, it's been done for like a year and a half. It's just
Right.
like working on all the the ins and outs on how to release it, and the relationships that have come with like a distributing company and all these kinds of things. I mean, it's taken a while, but the next single comes out in April, I believe April 24th, which is one of my favorite songs I've ever done. It's called When I'm Broke.
When I'm Broke.
Yeah. And so we got Bad Picker came out first in November. Drink With Your Name on it, February. And When I'm Broke comes out in April. Then we'll have another single after that. And then I think another single right before the album comes out. So it's like that waterfall effect where you're just trying to get everybody listening. And yes, I wish the album was out now. It drives me crazy. I'm so excited about it. But we're just that's kind of how everything's going. And everybody can check it out and follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and everything's on samriddle.com. So I mean, I love Australia. I hope everybody comes along for the ride, and I hope to get over there as much as possible.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what we can do. It'll be good.
Yeah, I'm sure that you'll make an impact in wherever you play, but it'd be great to see you in some of our country festivals. That country music.
Me and Keith, every week we coming.
Country music just seems to be growing, Sam. It just seems to be such a community, and my background's listening to bloody garage grunge bands type style, and with this show we've got to meet so many fresh artists in the country genre that are just coming through, and they always talk about people that mentor them and the community that supports them. And we've had a lot of music festivals here in Australia go into administration, go bankrupt and cease operating, but the country ones are just growing in strength.
Flourishing,
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's amazing to see. Stewie, last question.
Okay, Sam, Aussie country music. Are there any artists over here that you respect and follow? And
in country music?
Yeah, in country music in Australia. Yeah.
Oh, in Australia. Oh, yeah. I'm not really aware of anybody coming up. Everybody was telling me about this one song that is like huge over there. It's something about horses.
Oh, that's
what song?
So
what is it called?
It's called Horses. It's a guy called Daryl Braithwaite who was in a pop band back in the 70s.
That's right.
But the song was actually written by Ricky Lee Jones.
Yeah, I've been told the whole thing about this song, and people have been like, "Man, you need to do Horses." And I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, I don't know.
Everybody will love you, man.
Yeah, man. But I was like, I can't do this song justice, man.
You keep doing what you're doing.
No, I gotta stick to me, man. I can't be doing all that.
It's working.
So, Sam, if a 20-year-old kid in small town Montana told you that they wanted to chase music full time, what unfiltered advice would you give them?
Well, first of all, don't take any advice from nobody. That would be my first thing. That whatever you feel, I mean, definitely it's good to look at what people have done to kind of, different avenues and different routes, but play as much as you can, play in front of people as much as possible, record yourself, watch yourself, study it like game tape, study art, study the greats like game tape, become great, and worry about whether this is your purpose in life, you know, because I truly believe, and I know firsthand, if you are living in your purpose in life, you will never not have what you need. You know, money won't be an issue, nothing. If you are in your purpose, you will be fine. You know, you will be taken care of no matter how long it takes. So if that fire is burning in you and it's real and you don't want to just do this to be famous, if you want to do this to be famous or for money, you're screwed. Okay? If you want to do this to reach people because you have a gift that God has given you to use for the thing, then do it and don't ever quit. And it doesn't matter how long it takes, but do it all the time. Become great and don't listen to nobody. Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. I got one last question.
Go for it.
That's all right.
Yep.
I'm a big NBA fan, Sam. I have been for a long time. I go way back. I'm like over 60 now, so I go way back to the days. Can Boston win? That's my team.
I mean, they can, but I'm going for Wemby, baby. I'm going for Wemby.
San Antonio.
Man, I never thought in my life I would be a Spurs fan. They were so boring. I never thought, but I'm going. That dude has made me like the NBA again because it's been really hard. It's been hard for me to watch the NBA for years. I've always rooted for LeBron. I love Luka, but it's like the way the game is played now. It's really, really hard for me to watch. You know, it's not like it was. You know, and
you don't like that. You don't like the 3-point thing. You like the big guys.
Fine, but I like. Yeah, it's just like it's to me. It just is like not. It's just really boring. You know, like I love the game. You know, like the getting to the paint, dropping it off, and physicality. You know, and strength and physicality and just all the things. But I don't want to sound like some old head. You know, but I will say that Wemby has reinvigorated my love, man. Just watching him, you know, it's just crazy. It's amazing. It's like everything you dreamed of when you were a kid on a Nerf hoop, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's just insane.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Mate, Sam, one thing you can certainly do is paint a picture, and you just brought up an image of kids out in the local court with no fences around it and just shooting hoops. So,
my gosh, the greatest.
Yeah, Sam, it has been awesome speaking with you. Thank you so much for your time. And I'll reach out when you get closer to that album date because we'd love to share the album with the Australians and see what I've got no doubt they'll fucking love you, to be honest. So,
hey, you guys have been great, man. This has been really fun, and man, we'll do it again, man. I appreciate you guys. It's great to meet you.
Awesome. So if you've loved what you heard, hit follow, share the show, dig deeper on our Spotify playlist. We'll add Sam's music onto our playlist. Every damn song is the one that you'll be on. We'll also have Sam's links all in our show notes. So more artists, more stories, more reasons to listen. This is Unfiltered and Undiscovered. Thanks again, Sam. Thanks, Big Stu. Thanks, Braggy. We'll see everyone next week. Bye.
Another year gone by, another love done come and gone. All alone in my truck, turning up a sad country song. Broken heart in my hand, trying to buy all I can. Every time I think I get it right, I get it all wrong. You got a bad picker, pull that trigger one too many times. Been a winner, eating 3 dinner, always something on the side. Flowers I give them, sure can't pick them. Why they gotta be so mean? Got a bad picker, they messing with my ticker, and they wish they'd stop picking on me. Got a good job
for this episode of the Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast. If you've liked what you've heard, please do us a favor. Hit follow, leave a rating, and share it with a mate who needs some new music and a little bit of laughter in their lives. We're all about discovering the songs that actually mean something. So if you're into raw talent, great stories, and music that hits you right in the guts, you're in the right place, and we'd love to see you back again next week. Don't forget our Spotify playlists. Every damn song, every track we've ever talked about, rising female country artists and undiscovered covers. And just now, they're not just available on Spotify. You'll also find them on YouTube Music and Apple Music as well. Now, we will be back next week with more music, more stories, and probably some more arguments. But that's what keeps us unfiltered. We'll see you next week.